So folks, the KLR has this sub fender on which they attach a license plate light and a license plate bracket, actually a two-piece license plate bracket. One piece holds these reflectors and then the other piece is actually really the bracket that attaches to this sub fender. And I'm not really a fan of the look. I think it hangs down just way too far. I just not really a fan of the look. And I've seen people who have done the fenderectomy, so I went ahead and did it. I used these license plate stud bolts, LEDs from Super Bright LEDs. Okay, $3. And a couple bucks shipping. So I used those and shifted my license plate to right up in here and mounted the license plate right up in here on the bike and ran the electrics, and I'll show you what that looks like. So now you can see a bike that has had the fenderectomy. All right, that entire lower fender has been removed. Super bright LED license plate studs are in place. And you can see what the effect is and how much cleaner the back end looks in comparison. Okay, so we'll show you a little bit about the performance and a little bit about the installation, but not much, because there's really not much to do. It's about 4 bolts and some electrical wiring. Now we need to take this center line where this crease is, and we need to carry that all the way up here so we have a center line on which we can balance and set this bracket. Okay, we want to have the license plate where it's up out of the way of the dirt and the mud, but it's also, we don't want it so high that it's blocking vision of the stoplight or the brake lights. So, and we also don't want it too far this way and too far that way. We want to have it centered as best we can. So we've got to find the center line and carry that center line up, and then get the bracket evenly spaced. Starting up here, I created a center line. These decals aren't centered, that's why it looks a little goofy. Created a center line from this tip all the way up to the light. And then I figured out where I wanted to put my bracket. So I put a line perpendicular to this center line. The bike sits at an angle, right? So we got to pay attention to that. And then the holes, the center of the holes are 4 centimeters apart. So I marked the one center and marked the other center. Now I'm going to drill a small pilot hole, and I'm going to drill a larger hole so that I can run the bolts through. So we have our holes drilled on center, and okay, they're slightly cockeyed as you can see from the lines, but that's just kind of the way I roll. The other thing that we're going to do is the bracket. We're going to be passing these bolts through here, and there's not a lot of structural stability to this plastic. So in order to keep things from rattling apart and keep the plastic from cracking, when we put these bolts on, we've added a washer to spread the pressure out over the plastic a little bit more. So that'll make the whole bracket a little bit stronger. This is one of the issues with this entire lighting system. You see the bolt and the wires have to pass all the way through the license plate and the bracket, and then through here somewhere and connect with the wiring that's already in place. So I can't put the license plate on until I have everything else set up to wire. And then I put the license plate on with the bolt through it, run the wires through a hole here, connect everything up, and then do the final connections for the wiring. All right, so I'm using these shrink fit connectors. So I've passed the red wire into the shrink fit connector, pushed it all the way in, took the two leads from the LED bolts and twisted them together and then pushed them through so they meet in the middle. Now I'm just going to take a lighter and heat this up and shrink it to fit. Alright, so test number one. I'm turn the key on and come back here and see if our bolts are lit. And they are! Fantastic! Alright, now we just need to clean up. Here is the original Kawasaki fender and license plate look. Right, that's what the original looks like. And this is what the LED stud bolts look like. So you get further back, definitely the license plate bolts light up the license plate much better, much brighter.